Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome back to Fluency. I'm Clara.
And I'm David. It's so good to be with all of you again. We're thrilled to continue our journey with you as we explore practical tips and strategies to help you on your path to English fluency.
In today's episode, we're diving deep into a topic that is, without a doubt, one of the most common frustrations for English learners: understanding native speakers. We've all been there, right? You've spent countless hours studying grammar, you've memorized lists of vocabulary, and then you listen to a native speaker, and it feels like they're speaking at 100 miles an hour, and all of the words just blur together.
Absolutely, Clara. It's a universal experience. I remember when I was first learning Spanish, I felt so confident in my vocabulary, but the moment I heard two native speakers talking to each other, it was like a wall of sound. They didn't pause between words. They used expressions I'd never heard, and I felt completely lost. That feeling of being left out of the conversation is what we want to help you overcome today.
Exactly. It can be so discouraging, but it doesn't have to be. We're going to break down exactly why this happens and, more importantly, give you a step-by-step guide to improve your listening comprehension. We want to help you train your ear to not only hear the words, but to understand the message behind them.
So today's episode is all about unlocking the secrets of natural, everyday English. We'll start by looking at some of the core challenges like the speed of speech, those tricky reductions, and the world of idioms.
Then, we'll give you some incredibly powerful active listening strategies you can use in the moment to help you catch the main ideas even if you don't understand every single word.
And finally, we'll wrap up with practical, long-term techniques you can incorporate into your daily routine to really boost your ability to understand a wide range of native speakers. It's going to be a jam-packed episode.
Our goal is to make sure that the next time you're in a conversation with a native speaker, you feel confident and prepared. So, grab your notebooks, get comfortable, and let's get started. Let's begin by addressing the elephant in the room. Why is natural English so hard to understand? The first thing learners notice is the speed and rhythm of native speech.
That's right. When you're learning from a textbook or a language app, the audio is often slowed down and each word is perfectly articulated. This is great for a beginner, but in real life, conversations are much faster. Native speakers often speak in what we call thought groups or chunks, with pauses between ideas rather than between every single word. The entire sentence flows together like a single musical phrase.
For example, a learner might expect to hear, "I have to go to the store now." But a native speaker might say it more like, "I've got to go to the store now." The words have to are reduced to gotta, and the entire phrase go to the store is spoken as one quick chunk. The rhythm is completely different.
Exactly. And that's where our next point comes in: connected speech. This is probably the biggest reason for comprehension breakdown. Native speakers don't pronounce each word individually. Words and sounds link together. This happens in a few ways, but the most common are reductions and liaisons.
Reductions are when sounds are shortened or even disappear. We already mentioned have to becoming gotta. Another classic is want to, which often becomes wanna. Or think about I don't know, which is almost always pronounced as I dunno. These reductions are not lazy speaking. They are a natural part of a language that is constantly trying to be more efficient.
And then there are liaisons or linking sounds. This happens when the end of one word and the beginning of the next word are joined together. For example, if you say hold on, it sounds like one word, hold on. Or if you say tell us, it sounds like tell us. When a word ends in a consonant and the next one starts with a vowel, the consonant sound often links to the vowel, making it sound like the words are connected.
It's fascinating how our mouths naturally find the quickest way to move from one sound to the next. Now, a third challenge that trips up many learners is the extensive use of idioms, slang, and colloquialisms. These are phrases that don't mean what they literally say, and they're everywhere in everyday conversation.
So true. Think about the phrase break a leg. Literally, it sounds violent and crazy, but we use it to mean good luck. Or, it's raining cats and dogs, which means it's raining very heavily. If you try to translate these literally, you'll be completely lost. Slang is similar. Words like cool or chill have evolved over time to mean much more than their dictionary definitions. Cool can mean great, interesting, or relaxed. Chill can mean to relax or to be calm.
And the last big challenge is accents and regional variations. The English you hear from a Hollywood actor might be very different from the English spoken by a character in a British TV show or a news anchor in Australia. And even within a country, there are vast differences. For example, the R sound in American English is very prominent, while in many British accents, it's not pronounced at the end of words.
And this isn't just about pronunciation. Sometimes the vocabulary is different too. An American will ask to borrow a shopping cart, while a Brit will ask for a trolley. An American might wear sneakers, while a Brit wears trainers. It's all English, but it requires your ear to be flexible.
So, to recap, native speech is difficult to understand due to its speed, the way words blend together, the use of non-literal expressions, and the sheer variety of accents. But now that we know the problems, let's talk about the solutions.
So, we've broken down the reasons why understanding native English can be so tough. But knowing the problem is only half the battle. Now, let's talk about the solutions. These are the active listening strategies you can use in a moment to improve your comprehension.
The first and most crucial strategy is a mindset shift. Focus on the overall meaning, not every single word. This can be hard because as learners, we often feel like we need to understand every word to grasp the message. But in reality, your brain can fill in the gaps. If you get stuck on one word you don't know, you'll miss the entire rest of the sentence.
Exactly. Think about this scenario. You're having a conversation and someone says, I went to the store and I was going to buy apples, but they were out, so I bought bananas instead. Let's say you don't know the word bananas. That's okay. You still caught store, apples, and instead. You can infer that they went to buy something, couldn't get it, and bought something else instead. You got the main idea, which is what truly matters.
This leads us to our next strategy. Use contextual clues and prediction. The context of a conversation is your best friend. Where are you? What is the topic? Who is the speaker? All of this information helps you predict what might be said next.
For example, if you're listening to two friends talking in a coffee shop, you can expect vocabulary related to coffee, ordering food, or social plans. If one person says, I'm so glad we got to catch up, and you've never heard that phrase before, you can use the context to infer its meaning. You know they're friends in a social setting, so you can guess that catch up means to talk about what's been happening in their lives.
And our third strategy is to identify key information through sentence stress. In English, native speakers naturally place more emphasis on the most important words in a sentence, which are usually the nouns, verbs, adjectives, and adverbs. Pay attention to which words sound a little louder or are held a little longer.
Let's take this sentence. David is going to the gym later to run on the treadmill. The most important words are stressed. David, the subject, gym, the destination, run, the action, and treadmill, the specific activity. Even if you miss the other words, if you catch those key pieces, you get the entire message. Your ear will get better at picking up on these stress patterns over time.
And finally, don't underestimate the power of visual aids and body language. This is especially helpful if you're watching a video or in a face-to-face conversation. Facial expressions, gestures, and posture can all give you clues about the meaning. A frown or a happy smile can tell you the tone of the conversation before you even understand all the words.
Yes, if someone says, I'm fine, while frowning and shrugging their shoulders, their body language tells you that they're definitely not fine. These nonverbal cues are a huge part of communication, and they can help fill in the gaps in your listening comprehension. So, remember to use all the information you have available to you, not just the words.
So those were our strategies for in-the-moment listening. Now, let's talk about the long-term work. This is about what you can do every day to build your listening skills.
The first thing is to get gradual exposure to authentic materials. You shouldn't jump from a beginner-level audiobook to a fast-paced action movie and expect to understand it. You need a gradual progression. Start with things like animated movies, which often have clearer, more deliberate speech. Move on to YouTube videos about topics you genuinely enjoy, like cooking or gaming. Then, when you feel ready, challenge yourself with TV series or interviews.
The key here is consistency and interest. Find content that you love. The more engaged you are with the topic, the more motivated you'll be to push through the listening challenges. It doesn't matter if you understand 100% of it. The goal is simply exposure to natural, spoken English.
Another crucial technique is to listen to a variety of accents. The world of English is vast and beautiful. Don't just get used to one accent. Try listening to BBC News for a British accent or NPR for an American accent. Find podcasts hosted by people from Australia, Ireland, or Canada. This will make your ear much more flexible and adaptable.
You'll start to notice that while the sounds are different, the core language is the same. Your brain will learn to filter out the differences and focus on the meaning.
And let's not forget the power of repetition and review. This is one of the most effective tools you have. Find a short piece of audio, maybe a 2-minute clip from a podcast. Listen to it once without a transcript, just trying to get the main idea. Then listen again, this time with the transcript in English, so you can see all the words and phrases you missed.
Finally, listen one more time without the transcript. You will be amazed at how much more you understand. This process of repetition builds a strong connection between the sound of a word and its meaning in your brain.
This brings us to a related point: utilizing subtitles effectively. For beginners, subtitles are a wonderful tool. They help you connect the sounds you're hearing with the written words. But you have to be careful not to rely on them too much. Our advice is to use them as a stepping stone.
Start with subtitles, then try watching the same video without them. The ultimate goal is to train your ears to understand without needing to read. You can also listen to something with subtitles in your native language once to get the context, but then switch to English subtitles for practice. The goal is to move up the subtitles ladder until you don't need them at all.
And finally, we can't overstate the importance of vocabulary building in context. Don't just memorize long lists of words. Instead, when you encounter a new word, try to learn it as part of a phrase or a sentence. This gives you a much better understanding of how the word is actually used.
For example, instead of just learning the word overwhelm, learn the phrase, "I feel overwhelmed by all this information." This method will help you not only understand the word, but also use it correctly when you speak.
And on a final note, there's a great technique called shadowing. It involves listening to a native speaker and speaking along with them at the same time, mimicking their rhythm and intonation. It's an excellent way to train your mouth and your ears at the same time, and it's a topic we'll definitely dive into more deeply in a future episode.
So, we've given you a ton of information today, but we hope these strategies and techniques give you a clear path forward. Remember that understanding native speakers is a skill that takes time and consistent practice. Don't be discouraged if you don't get it perfectly right away. Just keep listening.
The most important thing is to be patient with yourself and to make English listening a fun, regular part of your routine. Turn on that TV show you've been wanting to watch, or find a podcast on a topic you love.
We've covered a lot, from why conversations are so fast to practical tips like using repetition. If you found this episode helpful, please remember to subscribe to our channel, Way to Fluency, so you don't miss any of our future episodes.
And we love hearing from you. Leave a comment below and tell us which of these tips you're going to try first, or share your own personal challenges and successes with listening comprehension. Your feedback helps us create content that is most useful for you.
Also, if you know someone else who is learning English, please share this episode with them. Let's help more people on their way to fluency.
Thank you so much for listening. We'll be back soon with another great episode. Until then, keep practicing, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.